My favorite part about cooking is that there's constantly new innovations in it. There's constantly new dishes being created. I love tradition when you want to kind of keep it that way, but some of the coolest stuff in food happens when you just break tradition. I'm Nick DiGiovanni, and I am a chef and a content creator. Let's make fresh scallops, beetroot pasta, chicken and rice, steak from a cauliflower. As a kid growing up, I was able to see food from literally all sorts of places. Grandma was Italian, and then my grandfather's Persian. And so you have all those different kind of things that come together, which is really fun. I really started myself to actually cook more, taking techniques from my grandmother in particular. She would teach me these small things like toasting pine nuts. And so once I learned that you could do such simple things to ingredients like that, I started taking those techniques, messing around in the kitchen myself for family dinners at home. I had this mindset I didn't want to look at recipes and that I just wanted to play around. That actually, I think, worked out for the better. Some nights for my family, definitely not. For a while, I saw cooking way more as a hobby than anything else. When I got to college is when I looked through all these concentrations and majors at Harvard, and I couldn't pick any of them. And then suddenly, when I was a senior, I had this opportunity for Masterchef. I was literally leaving during senior year for months. Wasn't really sure what was gonna happen with school, but it went really well. Learning tons and tons as I went along, from the competitors, from the judges, from Gordon. Fast forward, and I found myself in the finale. And I ended up placing third place. So after Masterchef, my manager had essentially called me and said, hey, check out TikTok. Just throw a cooking video or two on there, see what happens. And I figured I would just chase this idea that I could make a living off of the social media. I put up one video and I made a chocolate bar, starting with a cacao pod. Now I'm gonna let these ferment for a couple days. I put it up and I think I checked my phone maybe 30, 45 minutes later and it had 1.5 million views or something. I was like, is my phone broken or what the hell's going on here? At that point, I got super excited. I started going full throttle on TikTok. I made a video every single day. I've been fortunate enough today to get my hands on some soft shell crabs. Bring this in the middle. Let me pick a lively one. Somehow eventually kind of found this new style for making food videos that I really liked, and it kind of naturally worked with my persona. They're only available certain times a year and you can eat the entire thing. We're gonna turn them into something really special. You have the legitimate, really kind of higher end cooking with techniques tossed in there with tips and tricks. So it's a little bit gruesome, but when we clean these soft shell crabs, we're first gonna cut off this little bottom section here. And then also, you know, jokes and the knife throws. This is a yellowfin tuna. So TikTok allowed me to try a bunch of different things that were very unique. I'd take a full fish, a tuna. I'll cut right down the bloodline. And I would turn it all the way into a sushi roll. Doesn't get any fresher than that. It's an enjoyable process trying to think of the new ideas. Why don't we go and get, you know, some big giant fish like I would have when I was a kid and fillet it. So we are at John Nagel today. It's basically this massive seafood market. Everything's kind of that open floor plan like you'd see in something like Japan. And I just show up and we grab these really fresh things and run out with them. And 10 minutes later, we're cooking it up. Everyone goes on and they make a video of a fish sandwich, but no one actually shows the big fish. I think it makes for a way better video to be able to kind of have that full circle. You have to kind of ride the balance sometimes between things that people want to watch and then things that you actually want to cook. Because you see so many of these videos online that people make something, but no one's ever gonna actually eat. Now we'll go in with our crabs. Get them nice and coated. And into our 360-degree oil. Good. Through my content, I want to make sure that, first of all, people kind of learn more about food. Where does it come from? How can I just kind of easily implement a few new little tips and tricks into my life in my kitchen at home and become a better chef, better cook? I want to teach kids that food and cooking is really fun, that they can jump into the kitchen. Then take them out when they're crispy and golden brown. Whew, that's a good shot. The strangest part about all of this stuff is that I've never, and still really don't have this kind of set goal with what I want to be or what I want to do. I have an idea what's going to happen tomorrow, but I don't know what's going to happen next month. That for me is actually almost what I'm looking for. The most important thing I've learned is to just focus on yourself and keep learning and growing from that. I'm happy with where I am at this point right now, but I know I have just so much out there to learn, so much to do.